What's going on, everybody? John Stamper. I'm here live. We are live. We just got confirmation from the Michael Burgos, and we are in San Antonio at Dr. Scott Luna's Breakaway Seminars. We're going to keep this going with all of the great companies that are here. They're all in there listening to Dr. Luna, which has been great. You don't see that too often, so they're engaged in the content. But very excited to be with Dominique Doutre from Reach. How you doing, Dominique?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful, and you all at Reach have been coming here since we started to have companies back in the room.
Yep.
What's it been like to be at an event like this where you have, conversations with all the doctors that are there, listening to Dr. Scott Luna? Like, how's that been?
Yeah, most of my interactions with clients are over the phone, over email, so it's wonderful to get to place faces with names. I'm not a dentist, obviously, but I always have so many takeaways just from my personal life listening to Dr. Luna because he's motivational and the organizational strategies that he shares, I think, translate across more than just dentistry. So I really love coming to these events.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. All right, so let's talk about Reach. Let everybody know what you do and how you're helping dental practices on a daily basis. It's just such a great resource.
Yeah, so we help support the front desk specifically, giving them more capacity for patient care in the office, freeing up their time for the list of things that they have to take care of as it is. So answering phones during the day, overflow, or after hours. We can also help fill holes in the hygiene schedule, managing the recall list, and then insurance verification.
Yeah. And so here, when the doctor's on a break or whatever are coming up and asking questions, what are some of the things that they ask you?
A lot of times it's a great opportunity to ask the specific questions about our policies and how they line up with what the practice's goals are, their protocols and policies, just to make sure it's a good fit. Usually it's a lot of very specific questions, practice management softwares, hours that were available to answer, things like that.
How do you help the practices relinquish? Like, it used to be forever, and maybe it's still like this a little bit. I think you know where I'm going with like the dental schedule, and having someone be able to control the dental schedule in the case of like the apps that we use to schedule reservations for dinner. But in the case of what you do at Reach, how do you help that practice be comfortable that they're going to work with you in the same brand, the same way that they like to approach their patients, their culture? You guys can do the same.
Yeah, so it's definitely scary turning over your patient base. That's the lifeblood of the practice, so you want to make sure that it's a good first impression. One of the things that I let patients or clients know is that we invest a lot into quality management and the training to begin with our agents. So Laura Hatch, Front Office Rocks, they've given our teams training. We also, are doing a lot of consistent quality checking so that there's accountability for the agents. We're consistently listening to their calls. We also bonus for scheduling, so there is some motivation to drive production for the practice.
Sure.
So we've got a couple different things at the beginning and the end just to make sure that there's a quality experience for the patient throughout.
A practice signs up with Reach, and then you get a chance to connect with them 30 days, 60 days later. What are some of the things that are common that you hear that they get excited about? They're like, I never thought that this was going to happen, or wow, this really helped this. Like, what are some of those things? Yeah,
so I would say the number one is the team is less stressed. Front desk team feels like they don't have to rush through treatment coordinating or checking patients in or out because if the phone's ringing, they know that we're going to take care of that patient. So that's, I'd say, number one. Increasing conversion and return on investment is also something that we see. Typically about 9.6 times the return on their investment with our answering service.
Got it. All right. And then could you talk a little bit about the onboarding process? So an office out there is watching, they want to work with Reach. How do you get that relationship started?
Yeah, so it takes about an hour. We call the phone provider, set up any phone forwarding, we'll get some access to the practice management software, and then we do a very thorough training on office protocols, procedures, details about the office like the color of the building, office landmarks, just so it doesn't feel like a call center.
Right. Yeah, so that they know a little bit about the culture of the practice, or like you mentioned, kind of some of the aesthetics and things like that.
Exactly. Because we want to really well represent the practice, because a lot of times we're the first impression for that patient. So
absolutely. And then where can people learn more about Reach?
Yeah, so if you want to go to getreach.co, you could also email info@getreach.co if you want to be connected with us directly. We'll get back in touch with you. We can set up a meeting.
Awesome. Well, Dominique, thanks so much. Thanks
Yeah,
for taking a
thank
little bit of
you.
time.
Yeah.
I know Dr. Scott Luna really appreciates the relationship with Reach, so thank you for that.
Yeah, thank
and
you.
learn more about Reach. Thanks,
Thanks
everybody.
for having us.
Yep.